Conservancy kids, it's Nicole. Today we are going to make a native bee house. So basically an apartment for our native bees. So what you need to have is some scissors, some sort of twine or string or ribbon, anything that you have lying around, some plastic straws. Now that we're all going sustainable, you might have some plastic straws lying around, so we're going to make good use of those. And then some sort of container. It can be a tin bean container. It could be a plastic sour cream container. I have one that was a really tasty lemon sorbet. A pen, a can opener, and some sort of paint or something to decorate our native bee house with. I have some very cool gold spray paint that I'm going to use later. So because you're going to be using scissors or a can opener to poke a hole in your container, have an adult help you just to make sure that you're safe and you don't hurt yourself. So the first thing you want to do is whatever container you choose, go ahead and make sure one side is open, whether that means taking off the lid or opening up the can. One side is open. Then you're going to take, if you're doing a metal can, you're going to take your can opener and you're going to have your adult help you make a nice hole. It doesn't have to be big, just enough to get some string through. There we go. So I have a nice hole there. If you're using some sort of plastic container, you can also use a can opener and that'll go right in, or you can use a pen. Mine popped a little bit more, but that's okay. We're going to be able to get the string through, and as long as the back is still mostly on, we're okay. The next thing you want to do is take your twine or your string, and we're going to feed it through that hole that you made. And then give enough length so that you can tie it so that it'll hang down. Alright, there we go. Make sure it's nice and secure. So we have this now, so this is hangable. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our plastic straws and we're going to, you probably need about half the number of straws that it looks like it'll take to fill your container. So I'm actually going to use my tin can. And I'm going to measure it. And I'm going to say, about there. And I'm going to take my scissors and I'm actually going to cut these straws in half so that I can use them twice. So I'm just finishing packing in my cut straws into my tin can. And you can see all of those individual straws are potential bee houses. But you'll also notice that they're a little loose. So if I were to do that, they would all fall out, and we don't want that. So if you don't have any more straws, you can use newspaper, you can use a paper towel, you could use fabric. I'm going to just use some scratch paper that I have, and I'm going to make it so that these fit nice and snug for our bee tenants. See? Just like that. So now the most important part of this activity is we need to decorate our lovely bee homes so that we can attract all those lovely native bees that are looking for a place to live. So I'll be right back. I'm going to use some spray paint, but you can use paint or anything like that that you have lying around, as long as it's weatherproof, because this will be outside. So I will catch you in a minute. And I'm back. So I painted my bee house a lovely chic gold for our apartment, and it is ready to be hung outside. So I'm at my parents' house and we have some lovely trees. One thing that you want to do when you're hanging your bee house is try to make sure you put it in a spot where the wind isn't going to bounce it around, because Just like you and I wouldn't like our house being shaken, neither do the bees. And I scoped this place out beforehand, and I couldn't find a great branch to hang it on. So instead what I'm going to do is put it in between two branches so it's nice and secure. So I found this spot right here, and I'm just going to put it right in there so it's nice and tight, and that way the wind won't get to it. It's a little bit, it'll get some sun, but not too much sun. And this is basically a bee apartment. So like we talked about, most native bees are solitary, which means they don't live together. But just in the same way, if you live in an apartment complex, you have neighbors on either side of you and maybe above you and below you. Just because you guys live in the same apartment complex doesn't mean you actually live together. So each of these individual burrows is a potential apartment for a new bee. Most solitary bees will start building their nests in the spring. That's so they will lay their eggs in the tube and they'll hatch later on. But they also will build them in the winter to keep themselves warm. So when you start to see one of the straws look kind of dirty, maybe kind of cobwebby, or have mud in it, that's a sign that it is now occupied by a native bee. So thank you so much for joining us, Conservancy kids, and the bees thank you for making them a new house. We'll see you next time.